real short video to show the progress and to show how this basically gets worked. These guides are glued down now. Okay, this is the guide pieces. This is for the second switch. I'm getting ready to do it. Okay, that you can get a sense of how the guides work in that way. Okay, they are made to lift out. The original pieces are have two grooves and a channel. We're not using the channel, but we are using the guiding piece. Okay, and these two blocks, end blocks, are what gets glued in so the turnout can be lifted out once we're done. Okay, now what I've done here, this is the very first act before I lay any of the track bed to start for the squareness, and especially as short as these are, an eyeball is a little tough to use. So the way I worked it is I set up the glue, the wire feeds down through the base. I'll show that later how that's going to hook up. But I drew a reference line that's square to it. Just go against the flat rail, position, slide, position, get it right. There, it's square. Hold down. Actually literally flip this over and put a weight on it, to let it set up for, as the instructions on the glue say, a half-hour minimum, 24 hours to total cure. The glue I'm using is Titebond. I've used that brand before, but I'm specifically using Titebond 2 this time. I hope that's not a mistake, but what it is, the idea is it's water resistant, okay? Not waterproof. That would be Titebond 3. The standard Titebond, totally water soluble. I wanted something with a little bit of water resistance because we know how we do our scenicking and such. If it would get damp, I don't necessarily want it disturbed. Time will tell on that. This is the first I've actually been this specific in my own efforts with the brand of glue, but that's what I'm doing for this go around. Put a little bit on an old 3D print base. They make good glue bases. And with a cheap brush, just, I'll brush up the pieces, bring it up, feed the wire down through the board, and then start, get my positioning going. And okay, this is the general idea of what I'm going to be doing. There we go. There. And then I'll square it as I did this very first one in the same fashion. Actually, that one sits in pretty darn good right as it's cut, but this will verify. Let those set up, and then as I progress, the turnout will come back out. And this is the idea of it. Those are glued in, ready. This is the whole idea. We can service this thing later by just lifting it off of the guides. The guides are very nice fitting and hold the thing very true. In fact, if I grab a piece of track that I had already made up, you can get a sense, the rail will set into those, into the guide blocks, but I'll line that up and carry on. That's enough for now, but that gives you a pretty good sense of it. And there we go. That's going to be how we do it. And then as I'm working on the rest of the track, I'll probably leave the turnout out because these are vulnerable to water. It's an issue kind of almost with these when you want to start scenicking and everything. The water getting in, glue getting into the operator. So I'll probably do most of the detailing on this off the board. When it's basically done, then I can set it in for use. That's enough for now. Thanks.